Well, since I'm not very original, I thought, let's just screw around on r/pokeinvesting. I've seen Opossum Bud and Kira, the two Pokemon commentary channels I watch, also mess around on pokeinvesting, so I figured I'd do that too. I think I'll have their channels linked in the description. Check them out. They're both pretty funny. And let's just jump straight into it, I guess. Look at the snail. The Mega Gengar from Ascended is 60% more expensive than the Mega Charizard from Phantasmal. Deserved? If you had to ask me, I'd say not really. The Mega Gengar is only really expensive because it's an Ascended, which is a special set that has a bunch of other expensive cards alongside it. I mean, they're both Pokemon from the original 151, and these are both really, really cool-looking SIRs in my opinion. If it were up to me, I'd say these would both be about the same value. I really wouldn't have one being double the value of the other, but it makes sense given the current market and, the sets each of these come from. But these are both really cool-looking cards, and if it were up to me, I had both these cards maybe just at 150 each. I would not have these. I would not have the Charizard at like 500 and the Gengar like 1,000. I mean, I think they're both cool looking cards. They're both the same rarity because they're both SIRs. I mean, I guess maybe the Gengar could be slightly more, maybe like $25-50 more because it's in a special set, but yeah, in my opinion, they should be about equivalent value, and they shouldn't be this high up. I also wish the Mega Gengar SIR was in Phantasmal and not Ascended, but, I'm not the one planning all this out. That's ultimately the Pokemon Company's decision. If you had to sell 4 of these now and save the rest, what would you sell? So we got the SIR, Charizard X from Phantasmal, got the Charizard UPC, Charizard X UPC, got the Prismatic SPC, PSA 10 Gold Giratina from Crown Zenith, PSA 10 Japanese Magikarp from, I don't know what set that is. It was like, it's the Japanese equivalent of Paldea Evolved, I know, but it was like Clay Burst and then something else, I don't remember. A Phantasmal ETB, and then we got the No Neck Zard from 151. To be honest, I think I'd keep the Giratina, the Magikarp, and the No Neck Zard. 3 of these are a sealed product, which would have a nice return in this current economy, and I'd want to keep the Mega Charizard too, but it only allows me to keep 3, so I just keep these 3. These are all pretty cool. No Neck Zard's pretty funny too, look at that. Will this card potentially go up in value over time? Got out a card show for $100 cash plus a $110 trade. I think it's cool and seems like a good investment, but want some opinions and predictions. To be honest, it is a very pretty card. Got a PSA 10 too from Crown Zenith. If I'm being honest, I don't see this specific card exploding like some of the other cards we've seen. But you never know in this market. I think if you like Suicune or just like collecting PSA 10s or something like that, this is a very nice pickup. But as far as investing, I'd say like most other things, just give it time. I mean, cards naturally go up in value as the sets go out of print and such. Like X and Y stuff, certain cards, even if they're not like grails, might be worth a little bit because they've been out of print so long. I'd say don't buy 1,000 of these, but if you like the card, I mean, just go for it. It's a very good looking card, I'd say. And that's about all I gotta say. Just pick up cards you like. Don't bother investing and such. 5th pack of Chaos Rising. Haven't done Pokemon since I was a kid and was messing around on Whatnot and won 25 packs of Chaos Rising. Pulled this beauty. Very nice looking gold Greninja. I definitely would not encourage going on Whatnot and like buying stuff. Best case scenario, you're paying market. It's just a whole thing. But, there's scams and such that go on Whatnot. I would not recommend going on there. But congrats to Stinky Booty 69 on their poll, and not much else to say. Cool looking golden frog. Now here's one of the weirder posts that kind of made me want to make this video. Pokemon L25 investing. Got a Pokeball tin. This is a good investment. I can get a ton of them for $15.50 each. I'm talking about boxes full. Opened a few out of curiosity, and I had Surging Sparks, Perfect Order, and Twilight Masquerade. Now, first off, that has to be like a typo or something. I don't believe they would have late Scarlet and Violet sets paired with a set from mid Mega Evolution. That just does not seem right to me. I don't know. I don't think I've ever opened L25 tins, but that just doesn't seem right to me. But outside from that, I mean, if you want to pick up something sealed for cheap or just get some packs in a sealed product for cheap, this is not a bad option, but I don't think it's going to be one of those products that are going to be heavily desired. Even if, it goes up a few bucks, maybe a couple years down the line, I don't think it's going to be huge. Definitely one of the weirder posts, because you don't typically see Pokeball tins of all things being on here. It's only like ultra premium collections and such. But yeah, sell or hold, I feel wouldn't do too bad graded either. I don't know, dude. Freaking give it a gentle kiss. Away is everyone's thoughts on these Slowpoke promos for long holds. Love how derpy it looks. That might either I'm stupid or that's a typo. That sentence doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but plan on filling this page, and I say OP, go for it. I am a personal fan too of cars that just look derpy and stupid. For example, this promo right here from Mega Evolution. I really like it. How its stupid little fat face is up in your face, and I picked up a blister pack in it. I really like derpy cards, and I think OP is onto something, getting all those Slowpokes. Not really much else to say. Just think, OP's out here doing a cool thing, collecting derpy cards. And for our last post, how much would these cards be worth if they weren't promos? We got a binder page of Sun and Moon era tag team promos. Hypothetically, what if all these cards were pulled from sets instead of coming as promos, like their Japanese counterparts? How much do you think they would be worth? Would any of them be more expensive than the Lovebirds? Do you think they'll be better investments than they are now as promos? Not my image, by the way. If I'm being completely honest, I actually think they'd be worth a little less, because with promos, you need to open a specific product to get the promo. I mean, there's no way of knowing exactly, since, you can't rewind time and make Pokemon change their decision regarding these cards. But to be honest, I think they'd be a little less valuable, actually, because then you'd be able to pull them from the sets themselves. They'll make it a little easier to get, in my opinion. I might just be stupid. I mean, I am pretty stupid, so I don't know if my opinion matters here, but in my opinion, they'd be a little less valuable, actually, since you'd be able to pull them from the sets. And also, you know what makes me mad? The Mew and Mewtwo promo. That is such a cool card, and it's like $300, which makes me mad, because it's such a stupid card. Look at it. It's hilarious. And I can't pick it up for a reasonable price. Alright, that's it. Comment jalapeno if you've made it this far, and also check out Opossum Bud and Kira. Maybe one of them will see this video and call me an idiot. That would be awesome.